En dit is de eerste show uit een hele serie.
This is A State of Trance.
So, 25 years of A State of Trance. This time I get to interview you, which is a weird situation, I think.
30 years where I'll interview you.
So I think this is the first time, actually. I think we had so many artists in the studio, and finally I get to ask you a few questions. I'm very curious about certain things, because first of all, 25 years of A State of Trance. How did we even get here?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, there was no plan.
No.
I think the most important thing is that there was no plan behind all this. I just loved trance, and there was no real 2-hour radio show just about trance music, and I got the opportunity to host my own show on June 1st, 2001. And the real answer is, maybe not that sexy, but I just never quit.
No. You just kept on going.
Kept on going.
And what's the first idea that you had in mind when you started A State of Trance? What did you have in mind to do in the radio show, the 2 hours? And
Well,
how different is it from what you're doing right now?
I take pride in the fact that the radio show, the formula of the radio show, hasn't really changed in 25 years. I mean, if you look at what A State of Trance essentially is, it's playing the latest and best in trance and progressive in a 2-hour mix.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Of course, we now broadcast live every week from the studio. We have a crowd there. We have a lot of guest mixes. But essentially, it's still the same formula as episode 1. And I think that's pretty cool, because if you follow the radio shows, and I know a lot of people watching this, they do. There's some people that actually been following us for 25 years. Then you can actually see the progression of trance music. And you know, I remember minimal being big, and I remember the BPMs going down, and I remember the BPMs going up again, and I remember how EDM sort of influenced the trance sound, and then it went away, and then techno came. There was a flirt between techno and trance. Like, of course, this is not like scientific. It's just a bit of a feeling that I have, and it's been a wonderful journey. If anything, if you ask me anything about my career, I think the most honest answer is I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed to be sitting here talking to you about 25 years of my own radio show. But most importantly, I think it was such a pleasure to have witnessed the last 25 years, or actually last 35 years, as a fan of electronic music. And I know you're a fan as well. I don't know how you see this. I'm actually curious, but you know, we came from vinyl. We came from big studios with a lot of outboard gear into one laptop. We came from clubs, small events, you know, being happy if you sold 400-500 tickets. We came from a radio show completely mixed and done in Ableton to doing it live in the studio with fans around us.
Yeah.
But I think mostly I'm just so blessed to have seen this thing that we loved. I mean, I remember meeting you for the first time, and I already saw you were already such a lover of electronic music. And I think I can feel that with you. I feel that with me. I think we don't come to the radio show for work. It's like we love trance music, right?
I love sharing it.
We love sharing it. We love talking about it. Yeah. I mean, I feel really blessed to drive to the office and record A State of Trance. I mean, you know, a lot of people sit in their cars to go to an office job, and we have an office job, but you know, we play music.
Yeah. You already mentioned it, that trends come and go, you know, and even we outlived several platforms. We went to Facebook, we went to radio, we went to DIFM and Merck and whatever.
Yeah.
How do you make sure, I guess this is a lesson also for people that make radio, how do you make sure that you stay relevant as you are in 25 years?
I've never actively tried to stay relevant in the sense of, oh, I need to start playing this sound to be relevant. I mean, let's face it, for a long time, trance wasn't the main sound.
Yeah.
It was like 2000, 2001, 2002, around that time. And then sort of other styles, tech house, techno, you know, they were bigger. But we never really went there because I just felt like this sound was closer to who I am. Mm-hmm. So I never did it to pursue fame or money or whatever. I did it because we just wanted to do it. We needed an output. And I already said, well, we had this conversation off the air quite a few times, that, you know, I would just be happy for playing like for 300 fans that are excited. And if it's 30,000 fans, yeah, of course, it's better. But it's not. I would enjoy playing for 300 people just as much. You know what I mean? I mean, playing for 30,000 people it's just a scale, but just the happiness of seeing people smile and the genuine emotion that trance music evokes is something that we do it for.
That's what you see every week in the studio
Every
when you
week,
record
yeah.
the episode.
The goosebumps you feel when you listen to certain tracks. I mean, just this week you released this track with Amber Revival. Such a track, man. I was playing it and I heard it at home and I was like, wow, it's a good track, you know. And then I played it and I was like, whoa. And that's what you're looking for when you make a radio show like A State of Trance. You kind of hope to be surprised. And you kind of, I mean, I couldn't have done this. I mean, let's face it, making the radio show financially is not a good decision. No. Because it costs money. It costs money to do a radio show every week. But on the upside, you know, because of the radio show, I get to do all these other gigs, and of course it benefits my career. So, but the reason for doing the radio show is not per se that if I would do more radio shows, that it would generate me a lot of income or something. It's not a financial gain there. It's really doing it because we love it. We love to do it. Every week I go through all the promos and you download the most of the promos and you do all the work, and then it's just like, you know, it's sitting in a candy store and you get to pick your favorite candy.
I already know when I listen to certain tunes, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to show this to you as well. This is going to be a big track.
Yeah.
Now, 25 years, we've been to a lot of places. We've been to different times. Like, your jacket says a lot. It has the Space Cadet on there. Like, it has all the eras of A State of Trance, I would say.
Yep.
If you look at all these logos, because every logo is of a certain era, what is your most memorable, let's say, episode, memorable era in A State of Trance?
Oh, there's a few I have to mention. I have to mention episode 100 on the beach in Bloemendaal in 2003. I have to mention the one in the Asta. I think it was episode 200. And I have to mention episode 500. And I already said this in other interviews. I thought, you know, maybe quitting at A State of Trance 500 would have been a good idea. It was 2011.
There was rumors already going around.
Yeah. And I thought, you know, 500 is a nice number, you know. But I felt there was still so much to discover. And at that point, State of Trance really reached a peak. You know, we did 5 stadiums in 5 continents in 5 weeks.
5 weekends, yeah.
5 weekends. And we broadcasted all of them.
It was not a lot of sleep and a lot of jet lags.
A lot of jet lags.
But amazing, memorable moments.
Yeah, and that was absolutely a highlight. There's been so many highlights. From the Brabant Hall in Den Bosch to Utrecht, doing State of Trance there, moving to the new location. Oh my God, there's
so many.
So many highlights. It's really hard to pick just one. Of course, it's the answer you would expect, but it really is true. I mean,
it's the moments when you sit down with other people that have been part of this group for such a long time as well, that you suddenly have memories from, let's say, doing Miami in 2012 or something like that.
Do you have a favorite memory? Do you have a favorite, like,
I think
all time?
A lot of people would point out the Beck 7 Beck we did in Buenos Aires, of course. Yeah. But also the State of Trance 500 tour was amazing, that we went to different continents. And broadcasting live back then was not just put on a laptop and broadcast something. We had to make reservations for satellites to make sure that the broadcast could go to people.
And we had backups.
There was a big crew, and it was quite a pioneer moment or movement that we were doing. And that, looking back at it, it's like, how do we manage to pull it off and still, you know?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
We owe it thanks to a lot of people. Yes. A lot of people. I mean, this space is not even big enough to. I mean, you could fill 5 of these rooms with the amount of people that helped us throughout the years.
Even now, yeah.
And we're just sitting here taking all the credit, but it's really, well, first of all, the fans, of course. But secondly, I think there's this great team of people that has always followed us and supported us. But was there a plan behind it? I think part of it, yes. But a lot of it was just like, all right, let's try.
Yeah, that's true. Now, you say that the music has evolved throughout the years. And you see that a lot of people are like pretty much sticking to what they liked in the beginning of their, let's say, their clubbing life. How do you make sure that people stay interested in the music while it's evolving? Is it a part of that you want to educate people, or how do you make sure that you cater everyone enough that they would continue to listen to A State of Trance?
That's probably the most difficult question you can ask me. I understand the question, and I would ask the same to you. But it's really hard to answer. Because I can't look in people's heads. I can't open a skull and look inside the brain like, hello, what do you want to hear? I mean, I guess that's what we would all love to do, right? I just follow my gut feeling. And I think essentially it boils down to the thought I had years ago, like when I was really young. I thought, well, I love this track so much. It really does something to me. Like I get shivers. Like I want to play it again and again and again. And I feel a certain emotion that it must be really, really crazy if there's not one other person on this planet that loves it too. I mean, we often love the same tracks. It doesn't happen a lot that you are crazy about a track and I don't like it at all. It happens, but it's not very. It's rare.
Even though we have different tastes.
We have different tastes, but I think you agree that if we hear a good track, then we just know, like, okay, we want to share it, right?
Now, how do you make sure that people, let's say, that started listening to episode, a lot of people come in the studio and they say, I started listening to A State of Trance episode 98.
Yeah, they remember
the exact episode. So how do you make sure that someone that started listening to A State of Trance when you were still doing everything in Dutch still enjoys listening to A State of Trance right now? Is that something you keep in mind while making the radio show, that you pick certain tracks that you're like, maybe I don't like this too much, but I would still play it to cater that person?
I'm going to say something that will shock a lot of people.
That's what we want. Shocks.
I don't just want to play trance music. I mean, the radio show name is A State of Trance, but it's actually not saying something about trance as a genre. It's about the music that puts you in that state. You know, I think we all know the feeling that when you sit in a train or in an airplane and you're listening to music and you completely are sort of indulged in that world. You close your eyes,
outside of the window, you look over the clouds.
You look up, you see the trees, and you kind of relax and you get into that zone. That for me is a state of trance. So it can be classical music, it can be ambient, it can be jazz for all I care. It can be anything that puts you in a state of trance. Of course, I play mostly music that is labeled as trance, but I never stuck to like, oh, this needs to be trance like 100%. Because I felt like then it becomes pretty stale. I mean, I love trance as a genre, but if I just play trance or all music that is labeled as trance or whatever it is, then it just feels emotionless. Because 2 or 3 tracks in a row sounds great, but then the 4th, 5th, and 6th track sounds sort of similar. So what I like to do as a human being is just as a DJ, I like to, play in waves. So I'll play some vocal tracks in a row. I'll play some more techie tracks in a row. I'll play some harder tracks. I'll play some slower tracks. I try to make a story that I would enjoy as a clubber going out, because I know you as well. You went out to so many parties. And same for me, I remember going, I mean, still when I go to a bar, I can't just, enjoy the time with my friends there. I'm always analyzing the music that is playing. Yep. I'm sure you have the same.
Yeah, you're like, oh, how did it do that?
Yeah.
The LFO over there. Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, or you see a DJ mixing horribly wrong, and you go like, oh,
when
and
something's not in key.
Yeah, you're like, oh, off key. Oh, yeah. So no, how do I stay relevant? Of course, I try to stay on top of trends. I mean, we follow the labels that matter. We follow the artists that matter. We support them, but we've had many situations where we had one track from an artist that we absolutely loved, and then the follow-up, wasn't so good. So it's sometimes it's just following your gut feeling. I guess that's the most honest answer.
Yeah. And also I want to ask you one thing as well. Like, you see, there's new guests coming to the studio now, artists.
Yeah.
And they are like 21, 22, maybe years old. And they are saying, we grew up listening to this track. How do you feel about also playing the music that you used to play for their parents, and now you're doing the same for them?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel humbled. Like the fact that, I mean, when we do a radio show, as you know, every week, we stare in a camera, and it's a black hole. But on the other side of that black hole, like right now, where we have cameras filming us, that's a black hole. and you never know if somebody sitting on the other side is actually listening to what we're saying.
And being inspired to start creating music as well.
Yeah, and it feels. I mean, I'm now in a phase in my career where people are actually saying like, "Oh wow, I was at A State of Trance in 2013, and you play such and such track," and that was my big moment.
Yeah.
So what we do matters, and that gives a great feeling of satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the fact that so many people actually, I mean, essentially, what is music? Music is trembling air. It's like it's something that moves your speaker, and that wave reaches your eardrum, and then there's an interpretation from the brain to the human mind. That's essentially what it is. But people give it meaning. You know, we're just two dudes from the Netherlands, man.
Yeah.
And we love
But throw
trance.
music
That's
at people
it.
every week. There we
So
go. There's some
let's
new
not
music.
make it bigger than that. You know, I think we're just two dudes from the Netherlands that love trance.
Yeah.
And want to share that with the world. Have we ever made the perfect radio show? Well, I'm going to speak from my experience.
No.
I don't think so.
We try.
We try. Every week we try, but we've never done the perfect radio show. But we try to stay true to our core. We try to stay true to our fans. It's hard work every week, but it's a pleasure. It's fun.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, 27, 28th of February, 25 years of State of Trance. Actually, the celebrations are taking place now, but the actual 25 years is in June. But you know, why not celebrate a whole year while we can? So 27th of February, you're gonna do a 5-hour set.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit like what you're planning already. What's the idea behind, first of all, doing a 5-hour set? Because that's in these time and ages where people are playing even 45-minute set or 1-hour set. Why did you decide to do a 5-hour set, first of all?
Well, with the new setup during A State of Trance in Ahoy and Rotterdam, we now have 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And we tested it the last couple of years, and people love, you know, partying till 1 a.m. on a Friday, and then on a Saturday they just go all out, 5 rooms, you know,
Instead of 2 long nights.
Yeah, so, and it feels like a perfect fit. I mean, I have 5 hours, but they'll probably fly by like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna overthink it. I don't really feel stressed like, because we know what tracks worked the last 25 years. I'm not just going to play classics because I guess that would be a bit boring.
Yeah.
All the predictable classics. Will you hear classics? Hell yeah. But it's going to be a mix of, I think some new tracks, some classics, a little bit of fun. It's going to be, I mean, Friday is definitely going to be special because I'm going back to back with Deep Dish, two of my really good friends. And, you know, we played a lot of their songs on the radio show. And then face to face with Funk Tribu, which is, you know, one of the new guys. And then, doing a 2-hour classics set or a set that is really meant to celebrate, you know, how are you going to sum up all the big music?
Well, that's my question to you.
How are we going to sum up all the great music? Well, the good news is, ever since 2002 or 2003, we've done the State of Trance Top 50 countdown. Mm-hmm. So looking at all those top 50 countdowns is kind of a help.
You're like, okay, these were the big tracks of all these years, so they will work well.
Yeah. But if you play all those 25 tracks in a row, it's just like it's
not gonna work.
Peaking. So I have to make choices, and the choices will be tough, but I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to prepare. I have my lovely laptop, which has all the files that I've been working on with the last, for 25 years. And I'm just going to feel. I mean, I'm just going to feel.
So how far in advance are you already working on that set right now? Are you already putting like tracks aside that you're like, I have to play 100%?
Yeah.
So when did the preparation start? Because you mentioned, we'll get to that later, the back-to-back and face-to-face. But how do you decide? Because how do you take 25 years and make sure that you don't want to skip anything? How does that work in your brain? Like,
well, you can't.
Because you have to kill some darlings.
Well, if you play one State of Trance year mix from 1 year, that's 2 hours already. That's all the highlights from 1 year.
Then you have 25.
And then now you have 25. So I can't play all the tracks, but I roughly have an idea about I mean, if you just play, let's say if you play 5 hours of vocal tracks, people would be like, okay, we've heard the vocal tracks.
Heard the sing-along,
I'm going to play a few sing-along tracks and a few like techie tracks and a few, but the set has to flow, I guess.
Yeah.
there's no real reasoning behind it, and I leave a lot of room for on the fly, on the spot. On the spot, I'm just going to feel.
You're going to stand in front of, let's say, I don't know, 15,000 people at least. You probably have like a set list. I know how you work a little bit, so I know you have a set list of, let's say, 100 tracks at least standing by. How much do you rely on the track list, or how much do you rely on looking at the reaction of the crowd? That you're like, okay, let's say this track from 2007 worked really well. Let's do some more out of that era, or let's go into 2019, or how does it work while you're actually playing?
Well, I have to take into account that a lot of the people that are coming to Rotterdam are fans of the show. They've been following us for 25 years, but there's also going to be a lot of people who have no clue about the State of Trance Top 50 in 2004. They were probably not even born yet, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like finding that balance. I mean, I'm not a jukebox. I'm not just there to please every single fan, but I will try for sure. Yeah.
And how do you make sure that you don't be? It's easy to be predictable, like you say, that you take the top 50 out of every year and you pick certain things. Are you going to throw some curveballs at it?
Of course, yeah, of course. That's what I always try to do. I mean, I think the most dangerous thing to be as a DJ is predictable. You want to surprise people a little bit. On the other hand, if it's a 25-year celebration, yeah, you do want to have some. I mean, it's a party, right? I mean, you're only going to celebrate 25 years once, so
yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of like balancing that.
What I would like to know, because 25 years, people have a lot of expectations. Everybody's already like, oh, 5 hours of Armin. This is going to be nice. How much pressure do you feel already? How are you getting nervous for? I know that you don't really get too nervous for big sets like this, but this is such a pinnacle moment.
Yeah, it is. Well, on the one hand, I feel super, super nervous because, yeah, you just said it, 15,000 people. If you put it that way, I lay awake at night. But on the other hand, I've done it so many times. You know, how many State of Trance events have we done? We've played so many events all around the world, and I think people kind of know what they're coming for. I think I should just have fun.
Yeah.
And I think, if anything, the most important thing is, I think, this goes for you as well, I think we should just really enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
And really try to be in a moment and try to live for that energy, you know? Turn the world into a dance floor.
That's our destination.
That's
the destination. All right. So, the 5-hour set.
Yeah.
We ask you to look into your library a little bit and see if there's already some tracks that you're like, okay, this is 100% going to be in that set. Is there something you can show already that you're like, pick your laptop and just
let me see. I think,
dive into your computer and be like, okay.
I think for me, essentially, this is what fans.
Tuvan.
I think Tuvan by Gaia was. I think that is a must for the 25-year set.
Is there any like? This was 2010.
2008.
8.
Yeah.
So that was A State of Trance. Quick math.
400? 450, yeah.
So those were the times that we were actually going internationally on tour for the very first time. Do you still have like vivid memories to, especially playing this track anywhere?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very much so.
So that was probably the Brabanthalle?
Brabanthalle, and I remember playing this at, was it Poland we were at 450?
Yeah.
Yeah, many. Oh, yeah, but I played this track so many times. It's it's a classic now. Absolutely.
And do you have another one that you want to point out?
Let me see. Well, these are like the super
the typical ones. Yeah.
I think Ferry's Anahara, the Guriella.
Also former tune of the year, of course. And the Ferry being such a important part of the radio show as well. It's nice to point out something like that as well, yeah.
It's such a beautiful melody.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to play it, but I definitely will bring it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely an option that's very, very high on the most likely list, for sure.
One last one, maybe?
Well, I think we've done anthems.
Yes.
And, I've done one with you and Ferry and Rank 1 Destination, which is huge.
Yeah. which is actually made in the spot where we are sitting right now.
Yeah, it was actually made in this room.
This is where it's created.
But I think out of all the anthems, the biggest one we've ever done is...
I live for that energy. Yeah.
I think that must be in the set.
Yeah.
This is really the sound of A State of Trance. If you really put a gun to my head and say like, okay, give me one track that has everything of A State of Trance.
It had the piano, it has Jack, it has the drop. Yeah. Alright, so this is a sure shot? Well, you don't know yet,
think
but
so. No, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I can't promise anything. No disclaimers, because people want their money back if I don't play it. But
you already mentioned it a little bit earlier. You went ahead of the schedule that we had in mind to talk about. But on the Friday night as well, we announced first of all the face-to-face set with Funk Tribute from Colombia. One of my favorite artists at the moment, to be honest. So I was really happy that you decided to do that with him. So let's start with the face-to-face concept. Tell us a little bit more about it for the people that don't know about now yet.
Well, back-to-back is, it's basically two DJs standing beside each other, and they use a deck each, and they have a mixer in the middle.
Yeah. So basically two people playing in one set.
Yes.
Yeah.
Face-to-face, the big difference between a back-to-back and a face-to-face is, well, first of all, you're facing each other, but second, we have two entirely separate DJ booths. So I can't control the mixer of the person I'm playing face-to-face with, which means it's a lot more challenging, but also there's it's a lot more fun if you do it right. So it means there's a different dynamic than back-to-back. Because back-to-back you can see exactly, and there isn't really room for error. With face-to-face, there is a lot of room for error, and you have a lot more creative freedom, because it's not like the other person. Basically, if the other person is mixing, you're not going to interfere with the mixer or the deck. You just probably the only thing you're doing is selecting the next track. If you're mixing in face-to-face, you can basically already start bringing in elements of the next track while the other person is transitioning. So it gives a lot more creative freedom, and yeah, there's a certain dynamic about it that is just way more exciting.
So you've done some sets before, the face-to-face sets with Oliver Heldens, obviously with Maddox, Lily Palmer. Why did you decide to go to Funk Tribute for this set?
Well, with A State of Trance, we take pride in the fact that we've never really looked back so much. I mean, yes, we're celebrating 25 years, so we'll be playing some classics, and we're bringing some of the classic names, and we've always had a good eye for, our legacy. But I always wanted to focus on the future. And Eduardo, Funk Tribute, actually I sat in this room as well with him to create a track, especially for a face-to-face set.
Yeah,
is one of the faces of the new generation. He's very young. He's very inspired, very talented, very inspiring, and he's one of the guys that I think is gonna go really far.
Yeah.
And actually, I just want to learn from him. I want to see what his sound is, and he's obviously fishing in the same pond. But it's a different sound. He has a different vibe to it. And what I love about playing face-to-face with somebody like that is that it kind of challenges me to go out of my comfort zone a little bit and, be challenged by him and try to find mutual ground.
Yeah, because you've done several face-to-face sets.
Yeah.
But every time it feels like you're adjusting more to the person that you're playing with than the other way around. So in the decision of making the set list, let's say beforehand, is there still space enough for yourself to make sure that your identity stays where it wants to be, instead of that you go into the area of, let's say, Funk Tribute?
Well, the good news is that even though my main sound has always been trance, I've kept an open mind to all genres. Like, as a producer, I've been flirting a lot with psytrance, for example, or now the hard techno, or minimal, even like the 128 sound, and that is because as a DJ, I like to tell a story with my set. So as an artist, that kind of reflects. So, for example, if you take my Breathe album, for example, it has a lot of slower tracks, more radio-friendly tracks with vocals, but also a lot of underground tracks and tracks that cater more to like my trancey roots. And I can't really say that I'm either person. Viva la Opera is just as much as an Armin song that I did with Nathalie Gioia as On and On with Punctual and Alika. Those are two different sides of the same coin.
So it helps you a lot that you're diverse in what you're doing right now.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm not trying to jump on bandwagons. No. It is because this is something I've always done. If you listen to like older episodes of A State of Trance, as far as like episode 30 or whatever, you can also see that I've played a lot of slower, like lower BPMs and higher BPMs. It was never catered to like, okay, it has to be 138 or whatever. It's what gives me the trancey feeling.
Mm-hmm. That's why episode 1 or 0 has a lot of techno tracks as well.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, Funk Tribute, that's going to happen. Very excited to hear that. Before we go to the back-to-back set that you're going to do, is there any artists that you still have on your bucket list that you want to do a face-to-face set with?
Oh yes, so many people I want to do a face-to-face set with. Maybe Ferry even, or that would be fun. I think if he would be down. Yes, so many legends.
So that's for the future.
Yeah,
I want to pick your brain a little bit here.
No, well, doing a face-to-face set is challenging because you need to prepare. You can't just show up with a USB and start playing face-to-face. You have to rehearse.
Because you have the signs.
Yep. You need to hand signs. You need to kind of sort of agree on each other. Okay,
you have to take away the low end.
Yeah,
or you have to,
now you have to, and it's a challenging thing. Mm-hmm. So you need to have somebody who's willing and able to invest some time in preparing.
Yeah. So the 5-hour set is going to have the face-to-face set with Funk Tribute, a guy for the future. But for a back-to-back set, you went to the past.
Yeah.
So you decided to get Deep Dish on stage.
We wanted to do something special. We wanted to do something different, something that hasn't been done before. Mm-hmm. And hence Funk Tribute and Deep Dish. It's on the Saturday, I'm going to be playing back 3-back with Maddox and Oliver Heldens, which I've done before last year in Miami. Mm-hmm. So for the Friday, since we've already, added so many elements that people will expect. Yeah. Namely, classics and, going back a little bit. I think it's fun to do something that is just, maybe a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like unpredictable.
This is to me, it was very unpredictable. And actually, as a progressive lover, I was like, Deep Dish?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Well, that's curveball number 1. Yeah. Let's hit it out of the stadium. Yeah.
Well, there's one track, for example, that Sharam did, Party All the Time, mm-hmm. That has a new version from Adam Beyer and Leighton Jordani and Green Velvet. That is a track that we played on A State of Trance. Yeah. And that is sort of common ground. So I guess that would be a good... That's always where the conversation starts with me. Like, okay, are there any tracks that you are playing in your set that I'm playing in my set? And where can we find... And usually there's always a few tracks that we all play.
Yeah.
And that's if it's a good track and it makes sense, then yeah.
Very much looking forward to it.
Me too.
Both the Deep Dish set and the Funk Tribute set, but also your set. I'm very curious what you decide is 25 years of A State of Trance in the block in between. No pressure.
Well, no, it's
very curious to hear.
It's not going to be. First of all, you have to accept that it's never going to be a perfect set. Because there's always going to be people that want to hear this track or that track. But I'm going to try and do my best and give everybody a feel. I've done a celebration set. When we did ASOT 1000, I've done a celebration set as well. But I don't want to look at that. I want to look at something new.
Yeah.
And also something that caters to the young people. So, for example, what you see right now is that a lot of the new up-and-coming trance DJs, they're playing the classics.
Yeah.
So actually, it's going to be more fun. Because, these young people, they also want to hear a few of those classics. So, let's bring them back.
Nothing is better than you see someone, let's say around 20 years old, you play a classic and they pull out Shazam.
Yeah.
Like, ha! All right, I have one more question for you. Let's say we're on the year 2051. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we're still going to be around in the studio or whatever, but how would you like to look back at that age and be like, okay, this is how it was supposed to be?
Well, let's start by saying that reaching number 1500 or episode 2000 or something is never a goal. It's never been like, oh, I need to win the Guinness Book of Records. No. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've often asked each other when we did a radio show. Hey, was that a good show? Yeah, it was a good show. So we always ask ourselves, what can we do better? And are we still feeling the music? I think it's very simple. It's like that. Are we still feeling the music? It's still, and especially now that trance is sort of all the way back. Like even some of the most established names are playing trance again.
Yeah.
I mean, it says something that we must have been right for a while. And again, I don't think we've ever done the perfect radio show, but I think if we just keep doing what we do and just it's not the State of Trance, it's called A State of Trance. And because there's many states of trance and there's many, many really, really good radio shows, but we're just going to add we have our little island and that I'm super proud of, our little family. And I think maybe it's important to end on that note.
Yeah.
I think you and I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for all those amazing fans. I mean, I am still blown away to this day that every recording that we do for A State of Trance, we have a new crowd. At every recording I ask, okay, is there a lot of first-timers here?
Yes.
And more than half of the people raises their hands. So every single week there's people coming from Poland, French, UK, Ireland, as far as US, Houston, LA, even people from Australia and all the way from Argentina. They come to our radio studio to be there during the recordings. We've never had a problem filling a radio studio. No. And these people have the most fantastic stories. And you and I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for these people.
Very true.
And that is something to be extremely, extremely grateful for. And also, I want to say I'm extremely grateful for the team that we work with. I mean, it's you and I to take all the credit every week. It's Ruben de Ronde and Armin van Buuren, and we're showing off our radio show. But in fact, there's a team of, well, essentially 200 plus people that help us every single week with the recordings, and even as far to the cafeteria woman, Carola, who's making our sandwiches after the recordings, and Susanna, who's doing all the emails, and she's super busy. Yeah. She has, and the people from licensing helping us with clearing the rights for the tracks, and the wonderful people from Insomniac who throw the event and already, busy with the event months ahead.
They're already
of the
planning A State of Trance next year.
They're already doing the stage designs for 27, and we are so blessed to have the excitement from those people, and we can look good.
Yeah.
All we need to do is show up with a USB that's prepared and and stuff.
True, yeah.
But these people do the actual work, and it is something I am very, very grateful for.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the fact that I know how much work and passion goes into it. It's unbelievable how long you've sat on that chair, and you'd be my buddy. I couldn't do this without you, honestly. And I feel very grateful for you. I feel grateful for Susanna. I feel grateful for, the list goes on. And the people that have left us, that went on to other ventures, but the people that have been good for us all these years. There's many, many people. We've been doing the live recording since 2018.
Yeah. Episode 800, yeah.
Episode 800. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We're already almost double.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
We drive to the office to play music. I mean, honestly, I feel so grateful.
Yeah, 100%. 27th of February, 5 hours. I'm so much looking forward to it. I hope everybody at home is also looking forward to it. Let's make a nice party that we'll remember for the rest of our lives. Thank you so much for answering me all these questions, Armin.
And last but not least, we can try and play the best music, but if you guys aren't there, there is no party. So hope to see you there in Rotterdam on the 27th and 28th of February for A State of Trance 25 years celebration. See you there.